Hello doll people and welcome to another tag video. Today I'm going to be doing a tag. First of all, let me introduce you to my doll. Isn't he cute? Don't you dare tell me he doesn't have a face. He has a face. Look at all that expression. Are you serious? He was custom made by Trinlay K on Instagram. I'm gonna put her information down here. And he finally has a name. His name is Gumdrop. Gumdrop and I will be doing a doll tag that's actually more inclusive. Just answered a comment, I think last night, or maybe this morning. I think I probably just did that this morning over my tea. I realized that the last tag that I did wasn't very inclusive, and I want to be inclusive. My YouTube channel is all about collecting, being a happy collector, and connecting with other collectors of many different dolls, because I collect so much. And I actually found this tag that's just simply called the doll collecting tag. And I think it's really sweet. Some of the questions are a little bit redundant because I've answered them in previous tags, but I'm still gonna answer them mainly because now I won't be just talking about BJD. I'll be talking about the whole of my collector sphere. Let's go. Oh, before I actually get like super duper started, I want to let you guys know that I actually don't know who the creator of the tag is, and there are so many people that have done it that I can't find the original video. People have just kind of been linking back to the person that tagged them instead of linking back to the original video. So I don't know who created this, but I watched the video by Carms86 and I thought it was super sweet, and the way she answered everything was pretty straightforward, and I was like, I'm doing this. How long have you been collecting? It's hard to answer. I feel like I've been collecting my entire life. Like, you guys have been listening to all the stories and stuff that I've been telling recently. But as far as my official collection start, I want to say I started collecting in 2007. It feels weird saying that because I've always had dolls. So I've never been devoid of dolls ever. Reason I choose 2007, 2008 is because that is the year or the time span that my grandmother passed away. And I was actually speaking to an Instagram friend, if you're watching, hi sweetie, that I told her that after my grandmother had passed away, I stopped with all of the shame and all of the hiding and all of the being just... I stopped keeping my doll collecting love exclusive to myself because I wanted to honor my grandmother's memory, and being closed off from the world instead of sharing my love for dolls just wasn't doing that. It wasn't making me feel proud of all the stuff that she left behind for me to remember and for me to share, you know? Question number 2. What kinds of dolls do you collect? I collect everything. Okay, so I collect Barbie, I collect BJD, I collect Reborns. I don't have any in the house right now, but that's gonna change. I collect Bon Chi Chi. I collect all different types of baby dolls. If it's a doll and I like it, I will buy it. How many dolls do you own? I don't know. I know that I have more than 100, but I do know that I have less than 300 right now. Which collections are you most proud of and why? I think I would say my BJD collection. Not because I'm like this BJD snob or something. No, that's not it. You know, I didn't really want the doll. I just wanted the doll right now. You know what I mean? It's just impulse. So I got rid of all of those dolls, and I've been collecting the dolls that I actually know I want. The ones that hard times in your life will pass and you will still not sell them because you know you want them. Those are the dolls that I've been trying to collect. And a good many of them have been artist sculpts. So I'm really proud of that. And you can actually go and speak to them and tell them all of the things that you love about their dolls. They can hear what their consumers are saying about their dolls. And if they ever needed to change something, it's easier done than, say, Fairyland. Which doll costs the most? I still think the doll that costs the absolute most right now in my collection is my Unoa Zero. I used to collect very high-end fashion BJDs way back when, and I think I might get back into that because I got out of it because I got super sucked into Volks way back when, like back before I knew how to operate a fucking camera. Moving to New York City, I lost all that, life. I think I might get back into that, especially considering somebody that I've been following for years now has their own doll line, and they have had their own doll line for about, I want to say, the last 4 or 5 years at least. And I really want to support them. I love everything that they do. They're Amelia Couture. She has Enamorata dolls. I've been following her way back when she used to customize fashion royalties and Barbies and stuff like that. And I followed her for a very long time, so I feel like it's about fucking time that I actually supported her and I followed her journey in sculpting and yeah. Tangent. Which doll line is your favorite to collect? This is probably going to surprise a lot of you, but my favorite doll line to collect is probably Barbie. Mainly because Barbie is definitely a lot more accessible to anybody for the most part than most doll lines will be. That, and it's kind of one of those disposable loves. God, that sounds terrible. But what I mean is, I can have my Barbies. I don't need to display them. As a matter of fact, I think I only have like 3 Barbies displayed while the rest of them are tucked away in drawers. And they're there when I need them, and they're not when I don't need them. And that's good for me, and I love that. What made you want to become a collector? I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I've always been a doll dork. That's what I call myself. And I've been into dolls for all of my life, for as long as I can remember, to be honest. I've loved dolls. So becoming a collector was kind of a no-brainer. I was already doing the things that a collector would do and acquiring dolls like a collector would way before I considered myself a collector. Not to mention, collecting is real deep in my family. My great-grandmother, her mother probably, I don't know, but her mother maybe, my mother, my grandmother, my aunt at one point. Like, doll collecting goes deep. Which previously most wanted doll do you have now? All of my Unoa, pretty much. I think, yeah, like all of my Unoa. What's the most dolls you've gotten at once? That's a loaded question if I've ever heard one. I am a serious doll lover, seriously. And as a kid, every Saturday, and it was only Saturday because on Sundays we went to church, thing that I looked forward to the absolute most was Saturday. Waking up stupid early in the morning and going to thrift stores, rummage sales, garage sales. We all would just hit these thrift stores and flea markets and secondhand places, and I would save up my allowance and buy shit tons of dolls whenever we went to these places because you always found them. I remember there were a good amount of times where I would come home with like 20, 25, 30 Barbies. Like my Barbie collection was huge at one point. Now, how many dolls have I gotten at once from, say, eBay? If it's an artist sculpted doll like my Amore dolls, I tend to buy dolls like that in pairs because I like twins. So maybe 2 at once for the more expensive dolls. Yeah. What's your least favorite doll? I don't have one. Which doll has the best story in their life and in yours? As you guys know from watching my previous video, I don't really give my dolls stories. I give them pieces of myself. But a doll that I would have to say has the best story in their life and in mine would have to be my Willow Tree that I got from Ann Picaro. She gave him such a vibrant life, and then she gave him to me, and the way she gave him to me will always be special to me. What do you do with your dolls? My dolls are my best friends, actually. Like, I've got best friends and stuff, but my dolls have constantly, from being a little boy up until now, have been my great companions. I love photographing them. I love crafting for them in general. Like, making things for a doll feels right. You know what I mean? I take them places with me. Even if I don't take them out of their carrying bag or my pocket sometimes, I take them with me. They make me feel safe. Dolls have a way of starting and ending a conversation. They ward off people that you'd rather not talk to anyway, and the people that they help you strike up a conversation with are usually people that you wouldn't mind having a conversation with. Dolls do a lot for me personally, and I think I was actually just telling my friend Savannah last month at our doll meet that there are a lot more people interested in dolls than you might think. It's just that because dolls aren't present and in people's hands and people can see them and admire them. Oh my god, it's a fucking fly! Why do I do this to myself? Anyway, what I was saying, dolls, there are a lot more people interested in dolls, but the conversation can't be had and people can't really express their love for dolls or talk about them because they're not always present and they're made to be kids' playthings. So people don't question it when there aren't any dolls present. Are there any collections that you would like to start? That, again, is a loaded fucking question. I want an Olala so fucking bad. And I've been getting really, really deep into the world of designer PVC dolls. And for those of you that don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, a PVC doll that I now own, thankfully. And they're the only ones I own right now. These lovely ladies are Amore dolls with 5 O's. This girl is Yang and this is Yin, so Yin and Yang. And my lovely girls are the sweetest things. I've repainted them myself, and you know, they're just generally cute as fuck. Other PVC dolls that are just as sweet, and they're usually customized because these dolls are designed and created by artists. So it makes sense that they would end up being these really cute, exquisite pieces of art. Many, I won't say exclusive, but many of their designers have previously been Blythe collectors or customizers, so it just makes sense. Definitely a rabbit hole I've fallen down, and I would have to blame Ann Picaro for that. She ended up acquiring a tan or AA Amore doll and Olala, and I seen them and I thought, what the fuck are those and why don't I have any? What doll would you like to be And why? If I had to be a doll, and if, you know, I were to be immortalized in a doll form, it would have to be an American Girl doll. These are my babies. They're in the back. You probably can't see them. I've currently got 7. I was going to make it an even number and get 8. I still might. Don't tempt me. I love American Girl dolls. They're just so fucking sweet. And like, if I were to be a doll and there was a doll line and like the whole world that could probably capture my essence as a person, it would have to be American Girl dolls. They're very sweet, they're comfortable, and they make you feel safe. And I feel like that's a big part of my personality, like down to my profession, you know. Do people know that you're a doll collector? Abso-fucking-lutely. Everywhere I go, people know I'm a doll collector. Everybody in my life, everyone knows I'm a doll collector. I have called out of work to go to a doll show and did not lie about it. I am a doll collector. People know. Does your family support your doll collecting? I won't say support, because I feel like support means you're giving me money to go and buy dolls and they're buying dolls for me and stuff like that. So I won't say support, but they definitely know and they definitely understand my doll collecting. All of my siblings have never had any qualms about my dolls, and the only person that's actually had an issue in the past was my mother. And I think that had something to do with the fact that she didn't quite understand why I was collecting. Yeah. But other than that, like, everybody's fine now. No, like, yeah. So I don't know about support, but they definitely know and understand and respect it. What was your first doll collection, and do you still remember it and have it and all that stuff? My first doll collection from when I was a kid was all Playline. I didn't get my first collector's Barbie. I think I was 12 years old, and my very, very first collector's Barbie that I bought with my own money was a Hard Rock Cafe Barbie. She was the pink label, and she had blonde hair, and in the back she had black hair, and she had on a beautiful camouflage pink skirt, and I think she had a black skull shirt on, and this was the first doll that I'd ever seen in the Barbie world that had on flat shoes as a collector's Barbie. And she had on they looked like Converse, black Converse, and she came with this beautiful guitar. And I just remember opening her, because of course I opened her, and her hair quality was just unreal. Because you have to understand, at this point I'd only had Barbies from like Walmart, so they were still Playline Barbies, nice Playline Barbies, and secondhand Barbies where I had to like come home and rescue their hair and rescue them and everything. So getting this Barbie and having her hair be so luxe, and her clothing was so well done, and she was on the Model Muse body, and I had never handled the Model Muse body at that point. Yeah. I do remember it. Do I still have it? I don't. And if you want to know why, I did do a video about that and talking about, you know, growing up as a doll collector, the struggle and push and pull between being a boy and being a doll collector, and how that, you know, fucked up things with me and my mom and grandmother and all that, and being a little queer kid, all that shit. I did a video on it. It's an old video, but I did do a video on it. Which dolls started each of your collections? This is hard to answer because I don't know a lot of them. I don't know my first Barbie. I had so many, I don't know my first Barbie. But I do know the first doll that started my Monchichi collection. Give me a second. This is she. This little sweetheart came to me by my husband. he purchased her from my favorite store, or one of my favorite stores, Toy Tokyo, here in New York City. This girl was given to me for an anniversary present, and immediately, after I put her in my hands, I said, I need more. Like, so many more. And now I do. I have like a whole shelf dedicated to Monchichi now. Like, it started out with this tiny little, well, not tiny. This is actually considered S size. S size is like small, and there are sizes, and they do have names for each size. And I do own every size. So I really need to do a video on Monchichi. I really do, because it's, as an American and as a doll collector, it's really hard to really understand the history and all of the goings-ons with Monchichi, because lots of people see this and they think vintage. This girl is not vintage. She's current. I have vintage ones that are the same size. The vintage ones are slightly chubbier, and they're so cute. But she is not vintage, and she is not hard to find. Oh my God, I hate that shit. On eBay, okay, I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent, but on eBay, whenever you see these, and these are the current ones, they're always helmed with hard to find, and then they priced them like $60 fucking for her. No! She is like $25 because she's current and she is not hard to find. Anyway, I digress. I know that she's the first one, and I know you're probably thinking, how the fuck do you know she's the first one? They all look like this. First of all, they all don't look like this. They all have their own little personality to me, and I can tell them all apart. But I know she's the first one because I wired this one. Yeah, I did. I didn't take her apart, but I loosened a little part right here in the back, and I jammed wire up into her body. And so she poses. Yeah, so I wired her, and yeah, she's the very first one, and yeah. I love Monchichi. Do you guys give a fuck about Monchichi? Do you want me to do a video about Monchichi? I'm probably going to do a video about Monchichi. And last but certainly not least, where's your favorite place to shop for dolls? Right now, I would have to say eBay and Instagram. Oh yes, honey. eBay mainly because I'm a big doll collector, meaning I collect so many different types. It's hard for me to find like a single website to be into. eBay is a one-stop shop for me. Like, I can collect and find all the dolls that I want in one place. So that makes eBay a huge resource for me. Instagram, same stuff. You know, when you follow all these different people that are into different dolls, it's easier for you, or it's easier for me as a multiple type doll collector person to get dolls that you can't find on eBay, because believe it or not, there are lots of dolls that you can put into the search bar on eBay and you might find one, and that one might be like $90 million. And that is it for this doll collecting tag. It says that you're supposed to tag people at the end of the video, so I'm going to do that. I am going to tag Andrea Dolls Ahoy, and I'm also going to tag Doll Dirt. You know what? I'm not sure what his YouTube name is. Mainly because I follow him fiercely on Instagram, and I do watch his videos, but I can't, for some reason, I'm blanking on the name. I think it's still Doll Dirt. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But I would love to see the two of them answer these fun questions, mainly because they also collect different types of dolls, and I love what the two of them are doing. I mean, I love what everybody is doing, but what I want to do is I want I want people to know that my channel isn't just about BJD. Okay, it really isn't. I have so many dolls to share, and I'm sure many of you do too. So I want to be inclusive. If you want to do this tag, do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just be like Josh said, do the tag. So I'm gonna do the tag, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.